Round 5 of the Luckshack Invitational series. This is also part of the modern cash event tournament series. This is the first round. We've got Enrico de Witt and Shad May in our feature match area.
Shad's won the dice roll, opted to start.
Got Enrico on mono black control. Just a modern take on legacy good deck. And Shad is playing blue, white, red, bolt snaps, electrolyze is a charm featuring Thopter sword combo. So reasonable cards, very granular deck, lots of pieces that are good by themselves, and then a few combo outs with Kiki and Resto Angel, and then sort of the meek Thopter Foundry combo. Kiki is pretty good with actually all of the creatures here. Just does things. You can copy Resto to flicker something that's going to get removed. Snapcaster Mage is great to copy with Kiki. Pian Kirin poops bodies, and that's great.
Enrico kicks his turn off with the Thoughtseize, writing cards down now. Sees that Shad is got a Thopter Foundry in hand. Also has Snapcaster, Lightning Bolt, Electrolyze, Haloed Fountain, and
It's a Desolate Lighthouse.
Desolate Lighthouse.
He started his turn with a tapped Hallowed Fountain. Enrico takes the combo piece. Doesn't seem to be too worried about the creature and burn spell.
Well, he noticed that Shad doesn't have any red sources in his hand yet, so he's pretty safe.
Plays the Lighthouse, passes back. Enrico in the tank for a little bit. What to do? So many decisions.
Plays a Ghost Quarter, going into a second Thoughtseize.
Drops him to 16 points of life, and Shad responds with the Snapcaster Mage, trying to get a body down to have some sort of repeatable damage. Snapcaster gets in once and then eats a removal spell. I think it's done its job. Ambush Vipe is good. Passes back. Shad grabs a card for his turn and cracks in. Puts Enrique down to 16?
14
14. 14 points of life. Another disruption spell. This time Inquisition of Kozilek. And he has to take one of the lightning bolts. Restoration Angel costs too much.
Shad just drew that Resto Angel, and guessing Enrico also just drew the Inquisition, otherwise he would have definitely sequenced that differently to try and get that Resto.
Mm-hmm. I think you generally play Inquisitions earlier than the Thoughtseize so you can take out the more expensive things later.
Well, you are paying 2 lives, so you really do want it to be worth something.
Smother and Snapcaster Mage, trying to protect his life total. Shad plays a land and passes back. Still no red. Another Snapcaster Mage end of turn. Enrico's found an Herbal, and he's got 4 black sources, so he's online to cast everything in his deck. He thinks a little bit. I think Shad's missed a land drop there. He's still struggling for red. That's Victim of Night on the Snapcaster Mage. Weird removal spell. Destroy target non-vampire, non-werewolf, non-zombie creature. So, looks narrow, but basically kills everything.
Shad gets a red fetch there, cracks at end of turn, shocks himself.
It's like he's going to play the Resto Angel here, just to put more pressure on. Enrico is quite low. He's got a Mutavault and a Ghost Quarter down, so the Colonnade's not too much of a threat because of the Ghost Quarter. Mutavault can start going to work on Shad's life total, but not through the Resto Angel.
That was also the first damage Shad took.
From his Painland.
From his own lands.
Yeah. Doesn't look like Enrico's done much, but mess with Shad's game plan.
Goes in for 3.
Moosh.
It's Enrico down to 11. And he passes back the turn.
Ghost Court is his own land. Uh, Interesting. He's just trying to thin his deck, maybe. He's tired of drawing lands. He's got 4 mana. That's basically what he needs. Only really needs one Ghost Quarter to deal with the colonnade if Shad wakes it up. I think the threat is more than good enough. That colonnade's not going to wake up till the Ghost Quarter's gone. Grabs a card for his turn. Looks like Shad's on 2 cards. Enrico's just drawn his third. Shad is ahead on board. He's got a sizable flying body. I don't think Enrico has anything to block flyers except for the Vampire Nighthawk. 3 of on his main board.
Plays an Obliterator, and Shad responds with a Resto Angel, end of turn.
Doubling the amount of power he has on board. In for 6. And Enrico's life total is in trouble. I think Shad still has that bulk in his hand. This is not looking very pretty for Enrico. I don't think he has much of a choice other than to just attack. He's not blocking anything. So he wakes up the Mutavault and gets in for 7, which is a reasonable amount of damage. But Shad's only really taken damage from his own land here.
Well,
So
7 does put him down to 10. If he has a removal spell,
he might be able to pull this back. Ghost Court is still there. Bulk to the face.
making it 2.
In for lethal. Yeah.
Swings in. Now that they're going to sideboards,
Nothing weird about that game. I mean, Shad just played his spells. He didn't get any value of the Restoration Angel or the Snapcaster Mages. He just bolted. He was playing 3 mana Flash Flyers and Ambush Vipers and Lightning Bolts and managed to make short work of Enrico's life total. What a strange matchup. This doesn't actually look that good. I think Enrico brings in a 2 duress from the sideboard and the Pithing Needles. Shad, Geist of St. Trough looks good from his board.
well, he also has the spell Negate that he might consider putting in, but looking at what he has in main board, he probably doesn't need it.
Yeah, I think he just wants to put down a threat. He doesn't really need to protect them as long as he has something to follow it up with. Enrico's life total, I mean, it's a black deck. What do you expect him to do?
Shad also has a tiny reinforcements which he might consider putting in just to make sure his life total is very much higher.
I think it'll be more about the bodies, though. Just 3 guys on the ground. It really taxes Enrico's removal. He's got a sweeper, 2 sweepers in the sideboard, 2 damnations, and that's it, really. And I don't think he thinks about bringing them in. So at time he could be, a surprise 3 mana for 3 guys, and that'd be a 3 for 1 if he has to spot remove everything. Shad maybe takes out some of his combo pieces. I don't know, really. Kiki Jiki's, it's got haste, so it will do something when it comes in. All of his creatures are pretty solid. They do things. They either have flash or they add an extra body to the board. So he's good versus spot removal. I think Enrico's really got to lean on duress. He's got Pithing Needle for the colonnades.
Shad also has Insatiable Visions in the main, which he might decide not to keep in, just to make space. I mean, these types of games might just go very fast. He might just take them out. He doesn't really need to refill his hand, except if he's expecting to have to fight through more spot removal.
Yeah. Also, Liliana helps to draw 3 cards against them. They're only good when you play them like very early in the game, and then you're expecting the game to drag on past the 4th turn. which it might do. But let's see what happens. We're gonna have Enrico on the play here, I assume. He has been known to play manless Dredge, but that's not this world. I'm pretty sure he's gonna play first.
Doing a bit of pile shuffle there.
He's really solid against the colonnades, though. 3 Ghost Quarters, 2 Tech Edges, Pithing Needles, Fulminator Mages, Vampire Nighthawk to block. It's the flash creatures that really give him a headache. Because he's forced to play things in his own turn while Shad is tapped out to try and get around the counter magic. And he really he can't afford to take 6 damage from one creature.
And yeah, usually he needs to just keep mana up for removal spell because every end of turn he can maybe expect something to come in.
I wonder if he takes out Dismember. He can just hardcast it though. It's basically a murder. It kills everything in Shad's deck.
Yeah, well, he's playing normally 1 spell per turn. He might keep up the 1 mana if he feels he really needs to cast it somewhere in Shad's turn. But normally he just goes, I take this out and pass the turn.
It feels bad though. I think if you Dismember and he responds with 2 bolts in your face, you're taking so much damage. Unless you're paying retail for the Dismember, but it's going to cost you 2 to 4 points of life. And Shad is playing Burn. There are Burn spells in the deck. Both players keeping their hands. Shad leading with Enrico, leading with another Thoughtseize.
Starting again.
This time Shad has red.
But only 2 lands.
So he can play Snapcaster Mage.
And Lightning Bolt. But not both.
One after the other. He's probably going to take one of those 2. Maybe the Electrolyze to stop Shad from getting into his deck. But Snapcaster Mage is going to apply pressure. And if he takes the Bolt, Shad might find another land and then he's taking half a card really. Snapcaster Mage last game didn't flash anything back. Takes... what does he take? Is it the Resto Angel?
Well, you really shouldn't.
Shad's in no shape to cast that now. It's Electrolyze, Snapcaster Mage, or Lightning Bolt. Having a long think here. Going to the Bolt, it's the Bolt. Please don't hurt me. Shad pick up he just picked up another land.
Shad got another land.
Basic mountain.
Plays
Steam Vent tapped.
And Enrico plays Dark Confident. That would explain the Lightning Bolt.
Doesn't want the thing to just... but it wasn't a mountain, it was a Lightning Bolt that he picked up. I just expected the whiteboarded object in his hand to be a land, but it was a Lightning Bolt. And that's a Fulminator Mage, just straight up blowing up that Steam Vents, taxing Shad's mana base. But he just peeled a Sacred Foundry, and he's got all his colors. But still only on 2 lands. With a Snapcaster Mage in hand, we might see an end of turn Snapcaster Mage here. But Enrico knows about it. Does he pass back with mana up? This is 4 black. Can cast everything in his deck. Ghost Cord is the Dread Source. No Path, no Lightning Bolt, no Electrolyze. Unless you find a basic that can cast all of those. I don't think so.
Well, he floated red there and gets another land.
Sure. So he might cast the Electrolyze. That seems to... Yeah, he's going to do that. Use the Dread, Electrolyze you in the face. 2 points of damage. Picks up an extra card. I think it was a Path to Exile he drew there. Enrico takes his turn, draws a card, taps out for Vampire Nighthawk, which is a good guy in this matchup, I think. It'll help him get some life back. Shad goes, fetch land, your turn. Come at me. In with a Nighthawk. Let's connect.
It does seem to connect, puts him up to 18 and Shad down to 16. Shad
Access
cracks.
fetch. Just 15 points of life. And in a turn, Snapcaster Mage and Lightning Bolts that thing. Did he respond? Did that connect?
No, it does not
I
seem
don't think so.
seem that way. They did take the life there.
So no damage from to Shad, and Enrico didn't gain anything there. Did he take the damage?
I think he did.
Okay.
I think he let it pass and then only did that.
So there was an end of turn Snapcaster Mage. Probably just, I don't know, playing around Liliana or something. Yeah, that would make sense. Playing around the lead. He did have 3 mana untapped. And Shad just attacks with the Snapcaster Mage.
Enrico down to 16 again.
Asking him, how many cards do you have? Taps out for Gatekeeper, kicking it.
Clearing
And that
the board.
resolves. Gets rid of the Snapcaster Mage. Life total is at 16 to 13. Shad taps out for Pian Kirin Allah, putting 3 bodies down.
That's a very good card. I mean, 3 bodies, 4 power. It's really something you want. 2 of them are flyers.
He jumps the Gatekeeper. Still leaves 3 around. It's really, really difficult for the spot removal heavy deck to deal with. And it gives some reach as well. It's got little shocks attached to each of the Thopters.
And of course, he could resto.
Yeah.
Resto that, get 2 more bodies.
No, it's legendary. You can't copy it with Kiki Jiki. So it's Resto Angel to get the value off of that. Yeah, it looks like that's what Enrico's considering. It's going to get restored. When he plays a Smallpox here, he's really hurting his own mana base. A Ghost Core to put him down a land. He really wants to be on 4 lands. So Smallpox is resolving, just doing everything in order, which is lose a life, everybody discard a card, sack a creature, sack a land.
Shad sacked the Thopter token.
Putting a mountain in the bin. Not certain what he discarded there. And he attacks for 2.
Enrico's now down to 13. He did take Shad off the resto plan there for a bit. Plays a Dark
Another
Confident.
Dark Confident. And putting the dice on top of his deck, hoping that he'll untap with it.
Takes 2 more there. Shad does not care.
Snapcaster Mage, Bolt. No extra cards for you. Enrico picking up a land, presenting Liliana, and Shad's tapped out, so I'm pretty sure it'll resolve. Makes him sack a creature.
Kills it, plays a sword. Plays a second Lily, minusing again.
Path to exile my own Pian Kirin.
Get the 4th land.
For those restos. I think he's got the restos in his hand.
He's got 2 restos in his hand. So he's definitely looking for a 4th land to at least cost 1. Trying to stay ahead. It.
Shad's doing pretty well for cards here. He's only seen 1 disruption spell and a Smallpox, and he's drawn off an Electrolyze, I believe. He's just picked up a Celestial Colonnade, which he's playing tap, and he passes back, holding up Restoration Angel mana.
Just so that he can play it in his end of turn.
Might see Liliana do nothing here. She does have that mode. But Enrico empties his hand, and she's definitely going to go up here. That's the Phyrexian Obliterator. Scary guy. But Shad's probably not going to be interested in blocking it.
Shad discards a Wrath of God there. End of turn plays Resto. He wanted to attack the Liliana there. I guess he changed his mind. He needs one land to wake up his colonnade
one
there.
more.
And he knows Enrico's hand is empty, so he's probably feeling pretty good about it.
He's just gonna go for it here. Lily's gonna peg. Yeah, the 4-turn clock from Obliterate is not that threatening as long as he doesn't block it, which I don't think he will. That's probably why I bought it in the Wrath of God. 4 for X in Obliterate. He needs a non-damage based way to remove it.
He played a Flooded Strand there, getting himself a shock land, going down to 9.
With those 3 points, are going to put another 4 Vigilance power in the air on the board, because now his Colonnade is online, and Enrico is all out of Ghost Quarters, cracking in for 7. But 3 is going at Liliana, so 4 points to the face and kill the Lily.
And Enrico's down to 7.
Vigilance lets Shad hold up Path, another not damage-based way to deal with Obliterator. I don't think anyone in their right mind would send 2 bolts at that, to like block it with a Snapcaster Mage and bolt at that.
And he has the Path.
It is the Path.
Eats the Obliterator before damage is dealt.
Yeah, I'll get a land. Both players Hellbent, it looks like.
That is not like Enrico
has
has
a card in
one
hand.
card in hand.
I wonder what it is. What is he holding on to? He passes back. It's probably a removal spell. It's kind of the only way he survives this, because Shad wakes up his Colonnade and attacks. And yeah,
And
Slaughter
it's a
Pact.
Slaughter Pact. Kills off the Colonnade, takes 3, puts him down to 4.
They'll lock down 3 of his lands next time. But he's got another Colonnade. It doesn't look good for Enrico, unless he can find a way to draw another card.
I guess Smother would help here.
Yeah, Pithing Needle on Colonnade. But Shad's pointing out that the sword equips. It's not just a combo piece, it's actually an equipment, and he can pay to equip. Give the Restoration Angel 1 more point of power and attack for lethal. And that's what did it there. So either way, Pithing Needle's the sword, or Pithing Needle's the Colonnade and dies anyway.
And that is 2-0 to Shad.
Please come again.